This month we're celebrating Women's Month. The Womenomics is a concept by founder Olwethu Leshabane to use her platform to bring about real change in the way women interact with the economy. This Women's Month, she's discouraging especially government from using platforms and gatherings to celebrate women, but instead talk about real issues such as the more than 30% unemployment rate that we're faced with and how women can bring about solutions for that. She joins us now on Zoom. Olwethu, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Quite an interesting concept you have here. You're saying the Womenomics is a movement that calls on corporate South Africa to make a concerted effort to accelerate women's participation in the economy. Well, unpack this for us.
Well, I think, Desiree, we as women we kind of think of our lives, and most of us think of our lives as we go to work. You have these aspirations and dreams, but the main priority is making sure that the family is sorted, the family is fed, the family is looked after. But in fact, women do want to grow. Women do, especially the young black women. And I think, in any age group, but young black women do want to grow. They do want to climb up the career ladder. But we're met with this concrete ceiling where everybody else, they speak of the proverbial glass ceiling. But we have this concrete ceiling that we're having to deal with and trying to break through when it comes to our career growth. As it stands, the numbers do say women earn 30% less than men in this country. So we're calling on corporate South Africa to say, make a concerted effort to accelerate the women's participation in the economy by making, really looking at your policies and making an effort in closing that gender pay gap. And what we're saying is we need to pick up the baton from the woman of the 9th of August, 1956. And on the 9th of August, 2020, we don't want to still be receiving chocolates and flowers and beautiful spa vouchers. Those things are appreciated, but we want to be able to earn better. We want to be able to play a part and a real participation part in this economy. And it starts with looking at corporate womenomics. What do your corporate womenomics look like? How can we improve the finances and our economic conditions of women in this country?
And how do you suggest we go about this?
So what we're doing is on the 9th of August, we're going to be having a womenomics test that goes live on our website called thewomenomics.com. But what we're doing is we're lobbying corporate South Africa to increase women ownership. We want them to increase women board representation. We want them to increase women management representation, increase women's workforce representation, increase the education skills and training spend on women, increase the funding to women-owned businesses, increase procurement spend to women-owned businesses, improve the working conditions of women within the organization by looking at the policies and how they don't favor women, decrease the pay gap between men and women within your organization. So what this is going to do is this Womenomics test is going to ask the corporates to review and take stock of what your womenomics look like within your organization. So they go take the Womenomics test, so they come out with their results. They can choose whether they want to publish these results internally in their organization or publish them publicly, which we really encourage. Publish them publicly and take accountability for the shortcomings and your policy biases and the structural and systemic oppression that has allowed for women to be overlooked for so long within these organizations. And then tell us what the action points you're going to take in executing your plan towards being more inclusive to women within your organization and within our economy.
Isn't it just totally mind-baffling that in 2020 we're still talking about the pay gap?
It is, absolutely. And that's the shocking thing, I think, is that I was having conversation on Twitter, with women. Have any of you just been acknowledged during a time such as this? I speak about the 4 C's quite a lot. We're so used to the 3 C's and the other C being separated, right? Because we go into our work and we get our careers and then, 8 hours of the day we give to our companies. And then we come home, we cook, clean, and we care for the children. Now, all of these C's have come together during this lockdown and during this pandemic. And more than ever, we're realizing that, we're cooking, cleaning, and keeping up with our careers. This is a lot, and we're not paid enough to do these things. We're still dealing with the gender pay gap. So how can we foster more open and constructive dialogue with these relevant stakeholders to be able to come to the party and say, can we just look at these biases that are really holding women back? It is not it is not our doing, because we really, really do want to climb up the career ladder. But it can only happen if the relevant stakeholders can come to the table and say, okay, we will take responsibility, we will take accountability, and we will have a plan of action to go forward.
What is the Womenomics contribution to the concept of the rise of a woman-driven economy?
So, for us, we are going to be lobbying these. Stakeholders, and one really actionable point and something that will measure our progress, will measure our success and our contribution to this woman economy, is we want to be able to obtain a 1 billion rand pledge between the 9th of August 2020 and the 9th of August 2021. If we can obtain a 1 billion rand pledge from corporate South Africa, it is not asking for a lot, but we're saying, 1 billion is not a lot.
It isn't a lot in a $26 trillion economy.
At all. So we're asking for corporates to fund women-owned businesses, to channel procurement towards women-owned businesses, and to employ more women professionals within their organizations, and to be committed to the upskillment of women within these organizations. And we're hoping that these corporate South Africa will come to the party and contribute towards this 1 billion in any of these forms.
So if you're saying you targeting corporates, one assumes that you only looking at urban women in your efforts.
No, not at all. I was having a conversation with another media platform, and I said it also starts within our spaces and within our homes. There's a ripple effect that we don't see or understand, is that when we speak to these biases are all, the conversations become open within our corporate spaces, within our workspaces, within the workforce, we start valuing things like domestic work. We start valuing things such as the lady in the kitchen in the organization that you work for. How is she being skilled? Because surely she should not stay at that level of work forever. How is she being upskilled to her next? Who's taking her to training for her next? She has dreams and aspirations too. So there is a ripple effect when we start seeing and opening up our unconscious bias towards the skills of women within our spaces.
Yeah. Tell us all about Olwethu, the individual. What has brought her to this spot? What's your activity in terms of wanting to build the economy as an individual?
So I worked in corporate myself. I was in media and advertising, and I just saw how skilled women, the rate of skilled women, the flip rate within corporate, they come in and they leave. They come in and they leave. And I myself have been a pregnant woman within a corporate organization where I've also been looked at and told, why you're not going to advance because you're kind of always pregnant, You know why you're not going to grow, because you have to leave early to go fetch your children, whereas my male counterpart can stay until 8 at night. And it's not as if I can stay until late at night. What does the gender-based violence rate look like in this country? And, I can't exactly sit in or stand in a basement parking space, and the policies and the way that things are structured are not protecting my security either within the space full of people, full of males, and also as I leave that office building. So, for me, we need to critically look at how policies, how the way in which the HR interacts with the leadership, interacts with women within organizations. Where are these biases? Are they accelerating the participation of women within the business and the growth of women within the business? Are we taking into consideration that women have the 4 C's, cooking, cleaning, caring, and careers? And we do want to excel at all of them. We want to improve our financial standing. We want to also be able to say, I also contribute towards protecting my income. When we look at the stats right now, speaking to some financial advisors, many women are actually the ones bailing out the men or bailing out their husbands during times like this, where the husband's business has gone bankrupt.
And that's something that's not spoken about.
Though I'm 30% underpaid.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's such an interesting conversation that will also need to take place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it really starts with us lobbying the leadership, lobbying the corporate space. And you know, if the leaders and the thought leaders and the experts within these spaces, within these workspaces and the workforce come to the party and say, we're actually willing to listen, we're willing to work on our policies as well, and we actually want to make a commitment within a certain time frame, I think it will be huge progress from where we are in 2020 to where we'll be in 2021.
So, Olwethu, how is the Womenomics engaging with this phenomena that has been fast-tracked by the COVID-19 outbreak, that women will now have to be doing more online work than pitching up at the office?
And this is where the workforce and corporate South Africa needs to play a part in upskilling women. Have we prepared women enough for this new normal? And the truth is, no, women were not prepared for this new normal. But are women pulling themselves together and getting things done? And I'm almost tempted to say the other word. We are getting things done, and we're excelling at it. But are we still paid equally as men? No. Are there plans to review this? And that's the question right now.
Yeah.
And that's why we ask corporate South Africa, what do your Womenomics look like?
Well, it sounds like a really exciting concept. We will be watching out to watch as it grows. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you, Desiree. Truly appreciate it.
Olwethu Leshabane is the founder of the Womenomics. They say it's a movement that calls on corporate South Africa to make a concerted effort to accelerate women's participation in the economy.